What is up, everybody? What is going on? This is Anthony with VR 365. Welcome. It is Friday. It's March 15th, and it is currently 11:01 a.m. here in Sacramento, California. And it is time for another episode of our show. We are up to episode 125. And I got to tell you guys, today is absolutely looking like a shiz show in a major way because I really have nothing prepared. Well, that's not exactly true, but I only have a couple of things. Like, we can get through this in 5 minutes. And so we're just going to have to hit the various VR gaming websites. We'll hit the various subreddits. We'll try to see if we can scramble and cobble together a show as we move along. But that's kind of the situation we're looking at. Okay, so first off, I want to start the show off first with some unfortunate news that I got to break down to everybody. Okay, so today is episode 125 of the show. All right, that's today. Today is episode 125. When are you guys going to see episode 126? Well, let's go ahead and talk about it. This is our next episode. VR 365 Live, episode 126, is tentatively scheduled for 7 p.m. Pacific next Thursday. Well, the Thursday that's coming up here, March 21st. Yes, VR 365. I should know the name of my own show, right? VR 365. There's no show tomorrow. There's no show Sunday. There's no show Monday. There's no show Tuesday. There's no show Wednesday. And there's no show Thursday during the day. But there will be an episode of VR 365 Live next Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And so you're probably wondering, what is the deal? Why? Why are you doing this? What's going on? Are you going out of town? Are you going on vacation? I'm going to throw on, I'll throw on a rando trailer. Well, I'll just put that fail-safe trailer back on here. And I'll go ahead and talk about it. Okay, so real quick, I'll just explain this real quick. So basically, I'm kind of unemployed, but kind of not, okay? So I work for the state of California, and I'm what's called a permanent intermittent employee with the state of California. I have a permanent job with the state of California, but my hours are intermittent. And so sometimes I'll have a job with the state of California, and I'll be working every day, 40 hours a week, Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock, whatever, your standard deal, right? And then other times I will be working for them, and I'll only be working on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then sometimes I'm only working on Tuesday and Thursday. It's like anything can happen. And I've always been cool with this because it actually used to work out really well for me. And it would work out well for like taking my kids to school and all kinds of other things like that. And so I've always been kind of cool having this permanent intermittent thing, right, with the state of California. But I've been on a furlough forever. I've been on a furlough for the longest time. And so I've been able to spend all of my time working on like this YouTube channel and then also working on the website VR Game Rankings and doing other stuff as well. And I didn't have a job. I was basically unemployed for all this time. So my work called me. I have to show up Monday. So I am back at work on Monday. And they gave me a schedule which appears to be every day, 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday. And I called them and said, hey, I'm going to be out of town on Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm still going to GDC. Like, you're not stopping me from going to GDC. I will be at GDC. I've already paid for a hotel. I've already locked in my hotel. It's not refundable at this point. I'm going to GDC. But as soon as I'm done from GDC, I got to get my butt back here to Sacramento, and I got to get to work on Thursday, and I got to get to work on Friday. And I don't know how this whole thing is going to unravel, but my plan at this point in time is that I will be doing a night show, okay, that will be starting at 7 p.m., and it's probably going to be a shorter show. I'm not going to do 1 hour. I'm going to do a half an hour. So my plan for now is to do a night show for a half an hour, and we'll be back into our normal mode. Like next Thursday will be the first of these episodes. Episode 126 will be the first of these episodes. And then Friday, episode 127. I guess Saturday and Sunday could be at their normal time, but then Monday through Friday, it's going to be a nighttime show for VR 365 Live. Because I'm going to be working an 8-hour day at work, and actually doing like legitimate work. Back to Cubicle Land, everybody. Back to Cubicle Land. One question I do have for everybody out there is, what podcasts should I be listening to while I'm at work? Because it's been so long, man. I am so out of it. It's been so long since I've been back in my cubicle doing a regular job and just listening to podcasts for 8 hours. I was just talking about this like 2 days ago. I was literally just talking about this, how podcasts are an absolute godsend for people that have to work in a cubicle. And I have to work in a cubicle, and podcasts are an absolute godsend. The problem is, the last time I was listening to podcasts, I was listening to a lot of flat gaming podcasts and a couple of VR things here and there. And does somebody have a show like my show? Like, nobody does daily VR news? Like, didn't Epix do daily VR news at one time? Doesn't MRTV do like a daily VR news thing, or no? No? Does anybody do that? Because that would be a cool show. I guess one thing I can do, I don't normally catch the F Reality podcast, but I can now start listening to back episodes of the F Reality podcast, so that'll be cool. That's one thing I can do when I'm at work. I'll probably also check out like DLC with Jeff Kanata, even though they barely talk about VR, although it's been so long, I haven't checked that out. So I'm going to have to get back into the world of podcasting. So if anybody has any suggestions for VR gaming related podcasts, obviously not freaking, not VR Roundtable, because I don't need that suggestion. So I need other suggestions for VR podcasts. So I'll have to figure that out. But I guess I can just listen to like Crazy Joe Rogan or something like that. But anyway, that's the big news of the day. Headed back to Cubicle Land, and no show. The next regular show is going to be next Thursday. I might have some Let's Plays. Popping up between now and next Thursday. And there's also a slight possibility when I go to GDC, I am going to take a camera, a little handheld camera thing with me. And what I might try to do is just kind of do like a little wrap-up show for like, I was at GDC today, I tried that, like a little 10-minute thing, and I might just go ahead and upload that, but I don't know. I have no idea. That might not happen. It might happen. I'm not promising nothing. So that's why I'm saying the next regular episode of VR 365 Live is going to be basically a week from today. It's going to be Thursday night, 7 p.m. Pacific. So I will be back then. It's going to be weird, man, because I'm going to miss the entire UK audience. Like, they're all going to be asleep, and it's going to be like, I guess I'll get used to a lot of West Coast people. So it's probably going to be a completely new group in chat. It's going to be weird. But I definitely will get into that when that happens. Okay, so now, what is the real story of the day? And the real story of the day, actually, let's see, do we have our Webby browser set up? Yeah, we do. Okay, so let's go ahead and bounce over to our Webby browser real quick here. And the big story of the day is not so much that I'm going to be off for a week. The big story of the day is Sniper Elite VR is coming from Battlezone developer. Well, not exactly. It's being published by the Battlezone developer, Rebellion. Rebellion is the publisher of Sniper Elite VR, which is in development. The actual developer is over here. The developer is called Just Add Water, video game developers. So these are the guys that are working on Sniper Elite VR. and they are banging away on it as we speak. Now, one of the things that we're seeing here is we are seeing a PlayStation aim controller. We're seeing PlayStation VR headsets. So I think it's pretty safe to assume that it's basically guaranteed that this is coming to PlayStation VR. Whether or not it's coming to PC VR is questionable. We're not really sure. But what I did do is there is a little announcement video. Why don't we go ahead and check out their little announcement video that kind of breaks the news down, and then we'll come right back and talk about that. I'm going to go ahead and pump the volume up on this fail space video, and we'll switch over to the Sniper Elite VR announcement. So let's check this out.
Still intact. Way to go. Hey guys.
Hey Sarah.
Finally, we have one more announcement to make. Ever since we released Battlezone in 2016 on VR platforms, people have asked me, why don't you do a Sniper Elite game? Today, I'm delighted to announce that we're working with our friends at Just Add Water on a new standalone Sniper Elite VR game. Set in the same Mediterranean conflict as Sniper Elite 4, we're aiming to create the best VR sniping experience possible. Look out for more information about this later this year. For all the latest news about Sniper Elite, we have a new website, sniper.com. And don't forget to have your voice heard and join the community at all the links we'll share below.
Okay, so that is Sniper Elite VR. It has been confirmed. It is in effect absolutely coming to PlayStation VR. I mean, we know that.
Finally, we have one more announcement to make.
Yeah, so Sniper Elite VR is definitely coming. You know, I've never, I don't really have anything to say about this too much because I've never played any of the Sniper Elite games. I've heard of them. I've heard people talk about them. I know that some people have been really into them. Normally, the only sniper things that I've ever done are part of some other game. And then, you know, you just get a sniper rifle, and you end up doing some sniper stuff. It does make a lot of sense for VR. A Sniper Elite game in VR should be pretty cool. The PlayStation aim controller, I'm a fan of it. Yeah, does it lose tracking every now and then? You do have to shake it. It's kind of irritating from that standpoint. But it works pretty good, and it makes you feel like you really are holding a real deal gun, and it works pretty well. So Sniper Elite VR, I think it's safe to assume it's probably going to come to PC VR platforms as well, but they're just not saying anything about that. Maybe it'll come a little bit later. It might be one of those you know, like a 45-day window or something on PlayStation VR. They might be getting a little bit of like a co-advertising deal from Sony. I think that's what some developers get by giving them a little bit of a 45-day window, something like that. That's kind of what happened with Moss and Apex Construct and a bunch of other games as well. So that might be why we're only seeing the PlayStation VR and we don't have an announcement that it's actually coming to like Oculus or Steam or anything like that. But we can pretty much expect that that's probably going to happen. That is Sniper Elite VR. Okay, what else do I have for you guys today? One other thing. That is it. I have one other thing that I have prepared for, and that is our daily deal of the day. Okay, wait, let's go ahead and switch over here to our webby browser. And our daily deal of the day is a game we're very familiar with. It is Moss. And as you can see, 268 ratings, almost just shy, like so very close to 5 stars all the way along. From 268 people, that is a pretty strong rating. You got over 12 hours left in this. Unfortunately, the discount is marginal at best. We're talking about 25% off. You can get a little bit of a discount on Moss, $22.49. I think it'd be kind of cool if this was like $19.99, if it was like a 33% discount. I think probably a lot more people would jump on, but you know, that is Moss. Most of the people that are very excited and interested in Moss probably already own it. We also know that Moss is one of the few games that has been absolutely confirmed for the Oculus Quest, and it probably will look pretty good on the Oculus Quest. Now, is the Oculus Quest the place to play Moss? Not really, because you're sitting in a chair and you could almost play, well, you know, you do need your tracked controllers. I played Moss primarily on PlayStation VR, and it comes with a tracked controller. Very smart idea there by Sony, the only platform holder that everybody is guaranteed to have a tracked standard gamepad, which works very well for Moss. If you play it on your Oculus Rift or HTC Vive or whatever, you're going to be sitting in a chair, and it might be a little bit weird to control because you do need the tracked controller. I don't think, like, you could play Pixel Ripped 1989 with a standard Xbox controller and you lose a little bit of the experience with that, but not that much. But Moss, I think you kind of need that tracked controller. But I don't know, when I think of a sit-down gamepad style game, I don't think, like, the Oculus Quest is not the first thing that comes to mind. When I think Oculus Quest, I think Super Hot, I think Audica, I think Beat Saber, I think of In Death, and just, I think of standing up, moving around, and being very active, and not so much sitting down playing Moss. But yeah, it is coming to Oculus Quest as well. Definitely one of the best games that came out. Wait, did Moss come out in 2018, or was... Let's see, it's June 7th, yeah, Moss was a 2018 game, I guess. So yeah, one of my favorites of 2018 to be sure. So that's what I got. I don't have anything else. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and bounce over to Upload VR, excuse me. We'll go over here to Upload VR, and let's go ahead and give this a nice quick refresh. And we will go ahead and see what the latest stories are over here on Upload VR. So one of the things they're talking about here, Google's VR closure shines a spotlight on the need for a new storefront. And this, of course, is related to Google Spotlight Stories. You guys have heard me bang on this argument a million different times. And guess what? Get ready, folks. It's 1,000,001. No, but what I have said a million times is, when it comes to these experiences like Pearl, Age of Sail, Dear Angelica, Henry, you know, all these different kinds of experiences that we get, it's very hard to charge money for these things. Now, you can do that. The problem is, so many of these are given away for free that we've almost been trained like a little puppy. We've been trained to expect that VR experiences are either free or they're like $1.99 or $2.99 at the most, and that real games cost money. And I think that's why you have something like The Invisible Hours being marketed more as a game, and Eden Tomorrow being marketed more as a game, rather than being marketed as an experience, because we've got it in our head that we pay money for games, that experiences are free. The problem is, these things are not going to be free forever. And that's what we found out with Google Spotlight Stories. They're not going to make these things free forever. We need to figure out a way to fund these things. We have to have a way to, we have to have an ecosystem. You know, and I'm guessing that's what they're I haven't read this story, but I'm guessing that's what needs to happen. We need an ecosystem. And I've argued it before. We need some kind of Netflix for VR, but not Viveport Infinity, although Viveport Infinity is a great idea. And if they also put a lot of experiences, I'm thinking we need our own VR Netflix very specifically for non-VR games, where you're paying, like, let's say you pay $6.99 a month. So you're paying $7 a month. Would you pay $7 a month if you were consistently getting like 4 or 5 different interesting experiences every single month? You would get something like Spheres. You know, all these different experiences would be coming. Space Explorers, different things would be coming. Would you pay like $5.99 a month for that? Because I think that's where we need to go with this. That's where we can make... I don't know if that's going to work, though. I mean, I don't even know if that's going to work. I would do it. I'd pay $5.99 a month. But I'll be honest with you, I would be doing it more from the standpoint of trying to support our ecosystem here, rather than doing it just purely as a consumer that feels like I'm getting a great deal, because I don't know that I'd be getting that great of a deal to see stuff like Space Explorers and like some Felix and Paul stuff and, you know, Spheres and stuff like that. I don't know if that would really be worth it for $5.99 a month, but I would do it to try to support the ecosystem. Would you guys do it? I don't know. It's a question to ask. Do you guys care about these experiences? Have you ever paid big money for an experience? Like, have you bought spheres for $10? What have you done? You know, so those are some of the thought processes that we could think in regards to these things. So yeah, Google did shut that down. That was very disappointing. Okay, what else is going on? Sniper Elite VR, we know about that. Okay, so Orbis VR Reborn, what is this? I actually, you know, I've heard talk about this. Is this just an update to Orbis VR? Is this a completely new game? Is this like a separate thing? What is this? What is Orbis VR Reborn? And I haven't read this, so I don't know. Okay, see, Orbis VR was born from a successful Kickstarter campaign that originally launched on March 6, 2017. It raised about 35 grand. It was a modest beginning. They found success by staying lean and focused. Okay, the MMO launched to early access in December of 2017. Okay, I got that. Okay, and it's survived. You know, Orbis VR has survived. Let's see. The main negative thing about the first go-round is that we were an inexperienced team from a game development standpoint, and we just had a very small budget. It was funded through a mixture of Kickstarter and our own pocket, and we couldn't get a significant team together for art or programming. We ended up using lots of Unity asset source stuff for environments and monsters. It really just was never optimized for VR, not as blah, blah, blah. Okay, so basically Orbis VR Reborn is them doing all of that. But rather than just an expansion or big patch, Orbis VR Reborn is a ground-up reimagining of the original game. But here's my question. The people that paid the money for Orbis VR, do they got to pay again? Because that freaking sucks. Because Orbis VR isn't cheap, right? You know, it isn't cheap. Let's see. To put things into perspective, about 70% of all the assets in the base game, from character designs and blah, 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 have been reworked. Okay, so they've reworked 70% of everything. That's great. Dungeons are getting a big overhaul too. Not an overall. They're getting overalls, pantses. So the dungeons are being overhauled. The base game already had 4 classes, but they're adding more with Bard, Shaman, Paladin, Scoundrel. Okay, Orbis VR Reborn is fast approaching in April 2019. You can play the original game right now if you want, although I'd recommend just waiting since the Reborn update will totally transform. My question, though, is my number one question, do original Orbis VR players get this update? Do they got to pay extra for it? I don't want to read this entire article to find out, but let's look up how much is Orbis VR going for right now on like Steam and stuff. Let's check that out. Okay, Orbis VR. This is called a shit show, guys. This is where we do a shit show live and direct. Yeah, dude, Orbis VR. Okay, so Orbis VR on Steam, 40 bones. 40 bones. There's no way in hell they're going to make people pay 40 bones for Orbis VR and then also make them pay for Orbis VR Reborn. No way. So they got to be giving that. The question I have is, once Orbis VR Reborn comes out, will regular Orbis VR just kind of disappear and Orbis VR Reborn kind of takes over and it's the new thing? Or will this also be available for like $19.99, but Orbis VR Reborn is going to be like $40? I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. But very positive on the reviews. 610 reviews. It came out a little over a year ago. You know, mid-December 2017. This is a game that ranks high at VR Game Rankings. I've always said it could be anything. It could be called MMO Craptacular, and it would rank high because you know what? MMO players are tight, bro. They stick together. They rally together. And I think that's one of the reasons that Orbis VR does so well on our rankings, is just the MMO players, man. They come out in force. It's kind of like Republicans. It's like there might be more Democrats than Republicans in the entire United States, but Republicans get their asses to the polls, man. They rally. And it's the same thing like these MMO players. They rally. So that is Orbis VR. It is 40 bones. So it looks like Orbis VR Reborn is going to be a free update for somebody that already got that. So that's good news there. So Orbis VR Reborn. Adam Orth. Once again, the popularity of Adam Orth is off the chain link fence. This guy has become famous. He's become famous because of a famous Ash hashtag. Hashtag deal with it. Oh, I loved it. I loved it. He got bumped from Xbox. There was such an outrage over this guy. Disappeared for a long time. Then he worked for that studio where they made Adrift. Like Adam Orth, I mean, we could do an entire show just on Adam Orth. Adam Orth on Quest and standalone VR. Everyone's going to have them at some point. Yeah, because we go to Adam Orth because he is the speaker of video gaming in general. It's amazing how this is like a news thing. Like that hashtag that he did, hashtag deal with it, that is the best thing that ever happened to his career. Because everybody, why does anyone care what Adam Orth says? That's Kevgret. Apparently they care, man. It is news, brah. Like he gets more news than John Carmack. It's crazy. Former Firewall 0-hour developer Adam Orth thinks that standalone headsets like Oculus Quest could mark a turning point for the VR industry. You know, I will agree with him. I will agree with him. Orth revealed that he has 3 or 4 VR projects in the stages of being greenlit. One of those includes work on a potential Oculus Quest game. You know, I agree with Adam Orth, though, because I will say this. Like I said this yesterday. We talked about this yesterday. If the Oculus Quest is a straight-up failure, I know you guys might not care about the Oculus Quest, but if the Oculus Quest is a straight-up failure, VR, it's going to set VR back like 7 or 8 years. It really will, dude. This is the one chance that we got. If Oculus Quest is a mainstream hit, it is actually going to put VR on the fast track. We're probably going to get the stuff that we really wanted about 3 or 4 years earlier than we ever would have otherwise. Where if the Oculus Quest is a failure, everything's going to be delayed, and we are basically straight up triple monitors. That's what we are. We are racing fans with triple monitors. Who was it the other day that said, I'm a niche of a niche, all I play is flight sims? We're that guy. That's who we are if the Oculus Quest bombs. So the Oculus Quest, man, we better hope that thing freaking does well, because the entire fate of VR as we know it is tied up in that product. And I'll stand by this, because no PC VR headset is ever going to be the crowning achievement of VR, because you got to get a PC. And PlayStation, and don't talk to me about PlayStation VR, because all the goddamn wires, forget that. Maybe PlayStation VR 2 could be another hope if they go the standalone route. Completely eliminate all wires. You don't need a PS5. You don't need a PS4. This is our hope. This is really our hope. So I do agree with Adam Orth on that. And Main Fan says, I don't get why Anthony cares either. In regards to Adam Orth, I care because it's fun to talk about the guy. It's fun to talk about hashtag deal with it, brah. Also, I made a really nice montage of Adam Orth, and I can throw that on the screen too, if I could find it. Okay, let's see. Beat Saber, yeah, so the Monster Cat music pack, people are talking about that. You know, Audica got its first custom song, I believe. Oh, this is actually a major story. I forgot to mention this. Beat Saber has officially surpassed 1 million copies sold. And this is actually a big deal. It's a big deal from the standpoint that they did it in less than a year. In less than a year. See, Job Simulator has passed 1 million. In fact, I think Job Simulator sold like 3 million? No, I think they've made $3 million or something. I forget what the deal is with Job Simulator, but I believe Job Simulator has sold 1 million copies, I think. I think that's our first 1 million copy thing. But that took them years. This was done in less than a year. In February, we reached 1 million sold copies across all platforms. So that is huge. It's absolutely huge. Variety is reporting that Beat Saber may be the first VR game to surpass 1 million copies, but that's hard to say for sure. Skyrim VR sold very well. And yeah, Skyrim VR, you'd think that would have hit 1 million by now, especially when you combine it with Oculus Well, not it's not on the Oculus store, right? But when you combine it with the Steam sales and you combine it with all the PlayStation VR sales, you would think that Skyrim would have hit 1 million. And I thought Job Simulator, I could have sworn Job Simulator hit 1 million. Well, maybe Job Simulator made 3 million or something. It was in the news for like being the first VR game that hit 3 million in sales, maybe something like that. Rendered Reality says, I think Arizona Sunshine sold over 1 million, but it's been out for a very long time. And VR Spry Guy does not own Beat Saber. Neither does Greg's VR. I like Beat Saber. It's a great game. It still is a great game, but Audica is what I'm all about at this point. It's all Audica all day long. Okay, so that is Beat Saber. How Facebook's outage affected Oculus and VR developers. You know, Oculus, so here's our boy, David Haney, Haney555, and this story had to just burn him a little bit because he just bleeds blue. So I guess if you're a Facebook guy, you bleed blue. I was wondering, like, what do Oculus people bleed? You know, if you're an NVIDIA fan, you bleed green, right? And if you're on the red team, if you're like an AMD guy, you bleed red. If you're an Xbox fan, you bleed green. If you're a PlayStation fan, you bleed dark blue, I guess. And so if you're Facebook, I guess you kind of bleed blue as well, right? So let's see what happened here. Users were unable to download or install Oculus Store apps. Multiplayer games using the free Oculus network system like Dead and Buried in the Unspoken no longer functioned. Developers were kind of screwed as well. Implications. The issues seem to be over now. With Facebook stating on Twitter, we've now resolved the issues and our systems are recovering. Everybody gets a $10 credit. Oh, what? It doesn't say that? Everybody doesn't get a $10 credit? Okay, come on, Facebook. Just make it right. Give us $50 off coupon. A $50 off coupon for the Oculus Quest. It'll make everybody feel good. It's a win-win for everybody. Okay, one thing I haven't commented on, and this is basically, this show is turned into Anthony reads Upload VR Live. I'm reading Upload VR Live. Yeah, this is actually my show. This is where I read all the Upload VR stories. Let's see. So this story is Jamie Feltham. Let's see what he says about this. Okay, Astrobot scores Best Game Nod at the 2019 BAFTA Game Awards. Okay, what are the BAFTAs anyway? BAFTA. Meanwhile, Polyarch's excellent VR adventure Moss, which happens to be today's daily Oculus deal, earns original property and game innovation nods of its own. Beat Saber, meanwhile, scores itself a debut game nomination. To be honest, we're surprised not to see it get a few more than that. Finally, the soothing sounds of Tetris Effect rightly score audio achievement and music nods. Okay, so the ceremony is set to take place on April 4th. BAFTA. What does BAFTA stand for? Okay, so it's UK's BAFTA. Oh, it's some UK thing. Like anybody cares, man. Like anybody cares about BAFTA. No, I'm just kidding. So that is Astrobot. But dude, Astrobot, incredible game. Absolutely incredible game. Do you know that I have not finished Astrobot? I have not finished Astrobot. I haven't played it in like 5 months, but I haven't finished it either. Okay, why don't we bounce over to Road to VR and see if they got anything exciting, guys. Yeah, let's do this. And let's go ahead and give it a nice fresh refresh and make it feel real good. Okay, so Beat Saber. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Within Beat Saber's first music pack lurks a beast worth taming. Okay, well, that's a beautiful image there from Overkill album cover. That's pretty sweet. Let's see. Bust out sweatbands and tighten your wrist straps. What a great way to start a story, Ben Lang. What a great way to start a story. So anyway, he's talking about playing the different songs in Monster Cat Music Pack Volume 1. The different songs that are there. And yeah. Okay, I'm not really tripping on that. Okay, let's go back to the front page of Road to VR. Yeah, we know about Rebellion is getting involved in that. You know, I didn't read the Viveport Infinity news stories that have popped up. Oh, so you can sign up for Viveport Infinity for $99 a year. That's not too bad. It does support both Vive and Rift. HTC announced today that Viveport Infinity, the upcoming Netflix-style VR game and app, now this was yesterday. Yeah, this was yesterday. This is actually yesterday. It will be available for $13 a month or $99 annually starting on April 2nd. If you subscribe now, though, it could be a lot cheaper than that. Viveport Infinity boasts unrestricted access to the platform's library of 600 plus. Dude, this is a pretty good deal. Like, I don't know why anybody wouldn't do this deal, even if you were only going to do it for like 2 months. Like, this is basically, it's kind of like having a GameFly subscription. One of the things that I mentioned to a lot of people is if you're a brand new PlayStation VR owner, you probably, and you live in the United States, you probably want to sign up for GameFly because there's enough physical copies of PlayStation VR games. And I'm not saying you would subscribe for a long time, but for a couple of months, you could get a lot of samples of a lot of PlayStation VR games, and you could rent them that way. But this is basically the same thing, but you're just downloading it. You don't have to wait for the mail to ship it, and you don't have to ship it back. You're just downloading. So I mean, if you do have caps on your downloading, that could be a problem there. But $13, or just go ahead and pay for a year. It comes out to a monthly rate of $8.25. And if you grab a standard subscription before April 2nd, you'll be paying significantly less. You'll be grandfathered in under the old pricing structure until the end of 2019. Note, Viveport Infinity doesn't give you access to all games on Viveport. Check yourself, bruh. Individual developers must first authorize to include their game in the service, meaning some of our... See, I knew there was a catch, because it didn't make sense to me. There's a lot of big games. Like, there's some pretty big games that are on Viveport, and if you could play all of them, it didn't make sense to me. But, okay, so some of the favorites like Super Hot VR, Moss, Arizona Sunshine aren't available under the subscription service. Fan favorites such as Skyrim VR, Fallout 4, Job Simulator, Beat Saber, they aren't on Viveport at all. While there's plenty of shaft to bypass too, there's also some like Angry Birds, Apex Construct, Fantastic Contraption, Island 359, Knockout League, Abduction, Prison Boss, Pixel Rip 19. I mean, you could get this and you could play through all of Pixel Rip 1989, Transpose, Windlands 2. Get the F out of Dodge. That is the game of the year 2019. It's been confirmed by everybody. Everybody rated that as their game of the year, right? I wasn't the only one. Right? Not a bad deal, brah. Not a bad deal, brah. You know what? Maybe I should fall on a grenade for the boys. Maybe I should jump on a grenade for the boys and try to sign up for this for 1 month and see if it kills my PC. Maybe I should do that. Because there's actually some decent games up in here, man. I mean, there's some decent games in here. Island 359, Knockout League, Abduction. Like, I've never ever played Abduction. Ever. I've played just about everything else, but just haven't played Abduction. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and go back to the front of Road to VR. I did want to check out some of what people are talking about in chat here. Okay, so Muppet on Meds says, I wish Oculus would get Astrobot. I wonder if anything like that will ever happen. I just don't think so. Microsoft seems to be like they're interested in maybe putting their games on more platforms, and that might happen. But I wonder if Sony will ever flip the script. Like, why doesn't Sony... I'm kind of surprised that Sony doesn't have something for the PC, some kind of special PC thing. Because now that they're on the x86 architecture, right, couldn't they get, like, all PlayStation 4 games running on high-end gaming PCs? Shouldn't Sony have, like, a special platform for gaming PCs? That's the only way that you would get Astrobot, is if they did that. Okay, Andy Sky says, visually, I think Scraper is best game in 2018. I just love cyberpunk futuristic environment in VR. Scraper's a good game, and I got to get back into Scraper. Rendered Reality says, can't wait for all the big news Anthony brings us from GDC next Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Yes, I will be bringing... Well, you know what I will be doing? I mean, I don't know exactly how everything's going to play out, but I would imagine that next Thursday, I mean, I'm taking a week off, guys. It's going to be a long time before you get my next show. But when you get it, it's going to be all GDC all the time, brah. I'll be talking about everything GDC related next Thursday. Okay, Andy Sky says, other sci-fi games are all boring desert environments. Okay, Main Fan says, Anthony, did you get to the Astrobot final boss? No, I'll tell you the level that I'm in on Astrobot. Okay, you know when you get to that one world where there's like a Japanese world and they have all these like bamboo trees and you're like going, you know, and you're chopping down the bamboo trees? The level right after that is like a lava level. I'm on that level. See, my problem with Astrobot is I have this OCD thing. You know what? I want a shower like this. Do you guys see this shower where you could be shot with water from both sides? I want a shower like that. But what I was saying here is my problem with Astrobot is I have OCD really bad. Really, really bad. And so I have to collect every coin. I have to get it. So I could finish, like if I didn't care about getting every coin, I could finish all these levels in like 5 minutes, no problem. And I'm on to the next level, getting to the boss, blah, blah, blah. But I've got to get every coin. And so what I'll do is I'll play the same level like 75 times in a row, trying to get that last coin and jumping and then falling off and falling into the hot lava and burning. But I got to go back. I got to get every coin. I can't just skip it. And that was my big problem with Astrobot. Okay, Hussein X says, yeah, I enjoyed Scraper too. Plus, it's sitting down game for a different great soundtrack as well. Yeah, it is. It's got a good soundtrack. Too bad people are not buying Scraper. I don't know that we can say that definitively, but, well, they probably put a lot of money, like Labradex Studios. I think, isn't Labradex Studios, they're making an Oculus Quest game. It's called Project Alpha or something like that. I know they're making a Quest game. Or at least it's rumored. It's rumored. Rendered Reality says, I just have no interest in Viveport at all. Why? Why would you? Now, I know there's the fear. Obviously, there's the fear of blue screens of death, and there's all that stuff. Oh, that's a swinger shower? Is that what it's called? I like the idea of having a shower. Like we recently had our bathroom remodeled, and we did not get dual water blasters, but I've always liked the idea of being blasted with water from multiple angles. I think that would be a cool idea. Anyways, so yeah, that is, imagine all the 15-minute sessions Anthony could have with a Viveport sub. Yeah, that's KevGret, and that's kind of true, guys. It is kind of true. No, I didn't make it to level 2-1. It's like level 6-something. You know, it's like level 6. Yeah, I'm trying to save all the little robots and all the little coins. But it's just OCD, man. It's straight up OCD. Okay. Now I'm completely, I don't know what I was talking about. Oh, Rendered Reality. Yeah, I mean, my question is, why would you not be interested in Viveport? Is it just the fear that it's going to kill your computer? Because, I mean, that is a valid fear. It is a very valid fear, unfortunately. It's a very valid fear. But if I was a civilian, like I always talk about being a regular civilian, like what would Paradise Decay do if he was a regular civilian? You know, would he still be interested in the Oculus Quest if he's a regular civilian? What I mean by regular civilian is the people that don't get any codes. Because being part of like VR Roundtable, being part of VR Game Rankings and VR 365, I do get a lot of codes. And so I don't have to pay for a lot of these games. So I'm in a different mind frame. You know, I'm in a different kind of a mind thing. Where if I was just Joe Blow Schmo that didn't have any kind of show on the internet, had no kind of website, was not on any podcasts anywhere, if I had to just buy every one of my own games for myself, I absolutely would do Viveport, because I would be like, well, I don't own Island 359 and Abduction and Fantastic Contraption and Apex. I wouldn't own all of those games. I'd own maybe a couple, and I'd want to sample them. I'd want to try them. I don't know that I would get it. I would use it for every single month, but I'd try it for a couple of months. Because that's the thing. A lot of times you can sign up for these things, and in the first couple of months, it's going to be a smorgasbord. You're going to be trying all kinds of stuff on it, and then you're going to get bored of it. Then you go ahead and cancel. Then you go ahead and cancel it. Okay. So anyways, yeah. So Rendered Reality says, I don't want another subscription service. Don't want another store to play from. I would rather, I hear you there. I really do hear you there, especially if you have to put a credit card into this. Although, you know what you could do is you could go to like your local grocery store and just get one of those $100 Visa cards. I've actually done this to avoid having my real credit card and shit. Because the thing is, if you guys have kids, you know what I'm talking about. If you have kids and you've got like you've got a freaking credit card that's tied to your Xbox account or your PlayStation 4 account, and then your kids are like accidentally in your account and they're using the Xbox or PlayStation 4, and they like start renting a movie and they buy this game and they buy this DLC, and you realize, oh shit, I'm getting this huge ass bill because my credit card was tied into that account, or my credit card was tied into my son's iPhone, and there's all these little Fortnite charges or whatever. Like, F that noise. So what I do is I go down to the grocery store and I buy one of those Visa cards. You got to pay like $6 extra, you know, so you get a $100 Visa card, but it costs you like $107. But then sometimes you can use these cards, sometimes you can't. But you can use those cards to sign up for those things. And then that way they can't freaking, you know, they can't keep charging you so you don't get screwed. That's the way to do it, guys. That is the trick. That is a pro tip like none other. Okay, so not a lot of news is really happening today. Let's check the subby Reddits. Let's go to the subby Reddits. And you like that? Subby Reddits, you hate it. You hate it, don't you? Okay, let's refresh this. Okay, we are on the Vive subreddit. Let's see what's going on. Why you should not buy anything from Pimax. I wonder where's Steve Bishop when you need him? Steve, did you jump into this thread? Did you defend Pimax or did you agree with the guy? Yeah, this is why I'm not buying any Pimax. Okay, this guy says, I'm an early Kickstarter backer of the Pimax 8K. He decided to get the 5K Plus when they gave him the option. They accidentally gave him a European plug, even though it was in the USA. But the real reason why you should not buy anything from Pimax is the support. In early February, I turned on my headset to find this. Okay, should I click on this, guys? This could be scary. I'm going to click on it and hope for the best. Oh, yeah, that does look pretty janktacular. If I saw that, I'd be pretty pissed as well. Okay, so that's what he found when he clicked on it. Not very good after about 20 hours of use in the headset. And so basically he's tried to RMA it. He's saying the support is god-awful. Dude, does it seem... Is there anyone... I got a question here. Is there... yeah, Kev Gret laughing about me saying subby Reddits. Yeah. Okay, my question is there anyone that has bought a Pimax and the Pimax has worked beautifully for 8 months straight? Does that person exist? Because I don't think they do. Based on what I've seen, based on what I've heard, like I was saying, the reason I'm not going to buy a Pimax is I'd have to buy 2 of them. That's what I've always said about this. There's no way I would buy a single Pimax because it's going to break within 30 days. It's going to break. And then 30 days later, it's going to break again. And then 30 days later, it's going to break after that. Of course, Steve Bishop was saying, but yeah, you can't have a brand new Pimax sitting in your closet because that one's going to break too. So what are you going to do? You're going to buy 4 of them? I mean, what the hell do you do? So you don't buy any Pimax. I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but I'm not buying a single Pimax. It ain't happening. Until I can buy one from Best Buy and return it to Best Buy. If I could buy a Pimax at Best Buy and I could pay extra and get the Pimax protection, get the Best Buy protection plan where I can take it back to the store and they have to give me a Rift or, you know, they have to give me something else like right then and there, or they have to give me store credit or they just give me another brand new Pimax. Like I wouldn't even buy it from Amazon. I wouldn't even buy it from Amazon because then because then you're going to be shipping it back in a month. Like is there anyone that exists on planet Earth that has never had a problem with a Pimax? Because I don't know anybody that hasn't had a problem with a Pimax. I'm just wondering if Steve might have jumped into this thread, though, because I wouldn't be shocked if Steve jumped into this thread. and defended them a little bit, you know, because he does have some people on, you know, he's had Kevin hook him up with a cable, you know, so he probably feels like he's got to give Pimax the benefit of the doubt. So don't trust Steve, y'all. Don't trust Steve. He's been bought and paid for. You can't trust him. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, Steve. I'm kidding. Please, I'm kidding. Okay, let's see. Vive releases hand tracking SDK for Vive, Vive Pro, and Vive Focus. You know, whatever happened to all... They came out with Vive Pro, right? Vive Pro has these two little cameras on the front of it. Remember when we saw them doing some little... They had like a little AR sample that they had, and whatever happened to all of that? Dude, if HTC dies in a boat fire, it's their fault because they've had opportunities. They've had a headset that has some AR capabilities, and they're not taking advantage of it. Like that's unfortunate. Does anybody know when Boneworks will be available? All you got to do is go to vrgamerankings.com and you will see that Boneworks is scheduled for the 4th quarter of 2019. It is locked in stone. Bank on it. No, a lot of our release dates are guesstimates. I'm not going to lie. They really are. We try, but you know what? I think we're pretty accurate. See, the good news is we have this guy. His name is Nostradamus Jr., and he works for VR Game Rankings, and he does our predictions for the release dates. And so you can take it to the bank, pretty much, right? Okay, yeah, Audica has its first custom song. I haven't checked that out. I haven't. Now, do you have to download, like, is this through Harmonix, or is it like some like mod thing? Because I'm not into all the mods, man, because a lot of the mods, it's like the mod works one day and then there's a freaking official update and it kills the mod and then you got to get the new mod. But see, I'm not like a Beat Saber lover, so I'm not like, oh my God, I'm gonna get all my Beat Saber songs, and oh no, Beat Games, they just came through with an update and it killed all my custom DLC. So now I've got to re-download the new one. I don't care about all that. Like it isn't that banging that I got to do all that. So I'm not going to do all that. There is a new Drunken Bar Fight level that is available today. I actually have this in one of my accounts. Do you guys still play it? No. But I'll tell you what, Drunken Bar Fight is one of these games. First of all, these guys gave me a t-shirt. Excuse me. The monkey sent me a t-shirt, which is just like Steve Bishop getting a cable from Kevin Henderson. So it means that I've always got to say good things about Drunken Bar Fight. Guys, this is what we call Human Psychology 101. This is straight up Human Psychology 101. If you send a t-shirt to Paradise Decay, he will love your game forever and a day. Ah, that rhymed. That was pretty good. So Drunken Bar Fight, this is one of these games where I will go into it just for like shits and giggles. This is actually the poster child of shits and giggles. This is what they invented the phrase shits and giggles for. Like you go in here, you go to the wedding area or you go to the Halloween thing and you smash a couple of bottles on a couple of people's heads and then you're good. You're good for another year and you can wait for another year before you go back into it. That's Drunken Bar Fight. Okay, Shadow Legend VR. You know what? I did get back into Shadow Legend VR, and I got a little farther. I'm still having the crash problem. Are you guys still having the crash problem? I might need to like completely delete Shadow Legend VR, completely re-download it, and oh, VR Spry Guy says, why don't you wear your money shirt? Like wear it. Well, the shirt is pretty small. It's pretty small, and it's pretty tight. So, but, you know, I guess I need to lift a little bit more before I start wearing that shirt. Okay, let's go to the Oculus Rift subreddit and see what's popping off over here. Let's go ahead and give this a nice fat refresh. Oh, you know what? Here is breaking news. Oh my God, the internet hath broken. You know what? I saw this earlier today and I thought, oh, this is a big deal. And then I completely forgot about it. Okay, so in Germany, one of the retailers in Germany like responded to somebody and basically said that there is a new Oculus Rift that is releasing in May. Oh my goodness, folks. Oh my goodness. But yeah, this could be confusion. This could simply be the Oculus Quest. It could be Oculus Quest confusion that Oculus Quest is coming in May. Maybe the Rift S is coming in May. I mean, we don't know. We don't know what this is, but it doesn't really make sense. And then also, well, the other thing we have to consider as well, this is Europe, okay? And so sometimes the USA is going to get stuff a little bit ahead of Europe. So maybe the Rift S is launching at GDC or maybe at PAX East on the 3-year anniversary. March 28th, right, is the 3-year anniversary of the Oculus Rift. So PAX East in Boston is going to be going on at that time. And maybe that's when the Rift S is officially announced and it starts going for sale. But it's not going to be available for sale in Germany until the month of May. That's a possibility. We could be talking about the Oculus Touch here, or maybe it really is coming in May. But it doesn't make a lot of sense. Are you really going to release the Oculus Quest on April 30th, and then the Rift S is going to come in May? That doesn't make sense either. But there does seem to be a lot of weird things going on. And there's also, like, so there's that. And then somebody else has another thread about the Rift is out of stock everywhere. You know, you're going to hear people. There's another thread where people are talking about the Rift is out of stock. Although we keep hearing it back and forth. That's in stock, out of stock. So who knows really at this point. Okay, Robinson the Journey. There's a nice discount, a nice fat discount on Robinson the Journey. Although, you know what? I've seen it at this price a lot. I've seen it for $7.50 a lot. This is a quality game. I like Robinson the Journey. I think it is a quality game. I think it's a solid game. You can grab that for $7.50. Not a bad deal. But I've seen it hit $7.50 quite frequently, actually. Beat Saber on Quest. Oculus Rift stock update. Yeah, see, here's another stock update. This guy. Amazon has been out of stock for many days now and no longer has a date for when they'll restock, which is odd. Best Buy shows a delivery of March 20, but no longer ships as in-store pickup only. Now shows out of stock. Microsoft Store still out of stock. Da-da-da-da-da-da. So, yeah, I mean, we can come up with all kinds of little rumors about this stuff, and we really don't know. You know, this virtual reality pinball controller, like, I saw this a long time ago. That's Jeremy, right, from Tested. And he created this little pinball thing where if you line it up perfectly and then you're playing pinball and you have the controls connected right, you can actually get like some real pinball feel. And I endorse this. I fully endorse this. And if somebody can make an eBay version of this thing that you can buy for like $29.99, I'd probably buy one because I would get into a lot. Like if all the pinball games, if I'm holding a real thing and I'm really hitting buttons and stuff and I really have that feel of the table and everything looks perfect, I would do that. You know, I definitely would do that with those pinball games. Oculus releases free and open source locomotion options. Oh, you know, one thing I can mention, guys, Magic Leap related, Epic Games. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back to our standard scene here. And let me go ahead and change the game trailer window here. We'll just throw on some other trailer. How about, yeah, Lullaby of Colors. We'll go ahead and throw this one on. So one thing I do know about, folks, and main fan saying $299 maybe, not $29.99 on eBay. Yeah, but that's where my buy price is. So if you can get it down to $29.99, that's where I strike. So I need it 10% of its actual cost. Okay. No, what I was going to say is Magic Leap. I know you guys don't care about Magic Leap anymore. I still kind of care about Magic Leap. And the one thing I will say is Magic Leap is going to be at GDC. And they are going to have a booth. There's going to be a Magic Leap demo that is in the Epic Games Unreal Engine 4 booth. There's going to be a Magic Leap demo. Basically, Epic Games, here's the bottom line. The bottom line is Magic Leap threw a bunch of money at Epic Games and said, make us something in Magic Leap. And Epic Games said, okay, we'll do that. Plus, we could also sell our Unreal Engine 4 potentially to Magic Leap developers. Okay, so Epic Games is going to have something for Magic Leap. And it could be pretty freaking awesome. So I am kind of interested in that. And if I could possibly demo that, I will. but I'm not necessarily going to stand in a 5-hour line to demo that. But if I can possibly demo it, I will. Also, there's going to be one other unknown Magic Leap experience that is running off Unity that is going to be at the Unity booth. So there's 2 unknown Magic Leap experiences that are going to be dropped on GDC. The important one is definitely Epic Games, because Epic Games knows what they're doing. They know their own game engine. They know what their game engine is capable of. And I just want to see what they would do with Magic Leap. We've heard, what's his name? Tim Sweeney, right? We've heard him say a number of good things about Magic Leap over the last couple of years. And gee, I wonder why. I wonder why. Maybe because they threw about $10 million into his lap so that Epic Games would create one Magic Leap thing to show it off. And that is probably going to be at GDC. And I'm interested. I'm legitimately interested. I've never tried a Magic Leap. I've never tried a HoloLens. So I would, okay, Main Fan says, I can either demo Magic Leap or HoloLens 2. HoloLens 2, brah. HoloLens 2, brah. Yeah, I will not be waiting in line for Star Wars Porgs. I will not be waiting in line for Star Wars Porgs. F that noise. Okay, let's go back to our Webby browser. And what we could do is we could check PlayStation VR subreddit real quick. Let's go ahead and give this a fat refresh. Gorn might be coming to PlayStation VR. Didn't I hear about this like a month ago? Like, this is like a month old. Look at February 19th. This is a month old. To everyone asking about a PSVR port, we'll try our best, but we suck at programming. No, you know what really sucks is PSVR can't do 360-degree experiences. How are you going to play Gorn if it's 100% front-facing? I don't think that's going to work very good on PlayStation VR. I think that's why we haven't seen Gorn already on PlayStation VR, because graphically, I think it would work. Now, will the really good hit detection when you're, the melee combat, will that work on PlayStation VR? That's questionable. But yeah, Gorn, I mean, it should come to PlayStation VR. Everybody should bring their games to PlayStation VR sooner or later. Okay, No Man's Sky. No Man's Ski. What is going on with No Man's Ski? Okay, so No Man's Ski's Beyond, a major free chapter coming summer 2019 with 3 updates in one. No Man's Ski Online, ? We're working our butts off on something special. More info soon. Okay, and then everybody's like, oh yeah, that's VR, VR, VR. Of course, it's absolutely VR. It's got to be the VR version of No Man's Ski. I don't know. It's been a long time. You know what? The question is, here's the real question, guys. The real question is this. What are we going to get first? No Man's Ski or Knuckles? Knuckles or No Man's Ski? Which one are we going to get in VR first, where we can actually buy it and have it shipped to our house, not even if we're not Sebastian or Sweeviver? Who's getting No Man's Ski or Knuckles? Which one are we getting first? That's a good question. Yeah, Sniper Elite VR, we know it's coming to PSVR. I mean, they made that quite obvious. We don't know if it's coming anywhere else. Okay, Beat Saber devs on adding more genres. This is good. This is good news, actually. I saw this. This guy said, meh, this game needs variety in regards to the genres of music that's available to play. As a PSVR player, I'm infinitely jealous of PC players' custom songs. I want to play my favorite kind of music in Beat Saber. Please branch out with the next update, please. And Beat Saber responds. They say, don't worry, we have it covered with the genres of the next packs. Okay, so dude, those Beat Saber guys, can I just ride in their Ferrari for one day? I told you, man, they are driving all over the Czech Republic in brand new Ferraris, and they are chilling. They're wiping their asses with $100 bills. They are absolutely chilling. Let's see, anything else going on? Astrobot Rescue Mission, 25% Eden Tomorrow, what a beautiful sight and mind blown. That's another game I need to finish. Not really a game, but it's another experience. Best PSVR games to play while on acid. I don't know about you, but I don't think electronics and acid go too well. Okay, this guy says I would recommend not playing VR if it's your first time on LSD. Seriously. Yeah, you don't. No. I'm not even going to go down this road. I'm not going to go down this road. I'll say back in my college days, there's these things that grow out of the ground, right? And I may have tried one of those back in my college days. And I'll tell you what, I couldn't get further. When I was experiencing that experience, I couldn't get further away from anything electronic or mechanical. I wanted to get away from all that shit. I just wanted to be around trees and bushes and nature. I didn't want anything mechanical anywhere near me. Here's a rumor. PlayStation 5's next-gen PSVR 2 could possibly work wirelessly. It better work wirelessly, because otherwise you might as well not even do it. Because all these goddamn wires, it doesn't work. It works okay for the PC VR crowd, because we will do whatever we got to do to make it happen. We're all in. But for your average Joe Schmoes, for your casuals, they're not all in. You got to give them wireless. That's my thought process. All right, guys. Well, we've been doing this for an hour, so I guess I can bounce out of here. Let me just check out let me check out comments real quick. Okay, Rendered Reality says, after Anthony tries the Magic Leap, he's going to change the name of the channel to AR365. And Andy Sky says, I backed Ant VR back in 2015. Sucks. I don't know what that is. Oh, has anyone looked at the Ant VR HMD? I just got an email promoting it. It's from China. I was like, well, it's not my HMD. I don't know what you guys are talking about here. Both of the AR devices are roughly at the DK2 equivalent right now, except for the 10 times the entry fee. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. SAMIK81 says, I have played Gorn with 2 sensors. It works fine. But PlayStation VR has 1 sensor. It's got 1 cone of vision. Okay. Onakaze says, if No Man's Ski adds VR, I will double dip. I actually thought he said I'll backflip. I'll double dip and backflip, and I'll pick it up on PC. Talking of Sweeviver, anyone knows what happened to him? Man, he's in Switzerland, right? I hope a freaking avalanche didn't get his ass. Okay, Cyberpunk 2077 is my game. That's Andy Sky. He's hoping for VorpX to support it. And just some other stuff here. Polybius. Oh yeah, Polybius. Yeah, if you're on LSD, try Polybius. Yeah, you could do Scanner Sombre as well. And then James Davis 911 says, well, there's that $100 bill song in Beat Saber. It makes perfect sense. Of course they're wiping their butt with $100 bills. Oh, Sweeviver works for Xtel now, so maybe he had to give up his YouTube gig. That's a rumor. That is very much a rumor. Yeah, so anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. So I'm going to go back over here to my standard scene, and I will go to my little outro logo. And I guess I'm going to be saying goodbye, y'all. Goodbye for 1 week. I am not going to be back doing VR 365 live until Thursday evening, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah, and the bottom line with this thing, just to go back to the situation with this show and like the future of this show and all of that, I don't have plans to stop doing this show, but I will tell you that it's gonna be a work in progress. I'm gonna have to figure out what is going on with my work situation and working 8 hours a day and then coming home and having to like eat dinner and stuff, but like try to do this show. And it's going to be, it's going to be something that I'm going to figure out as I go along. And I might change the time of the show. It might be 10 p.m. Pacific time. It might be 7 p.m. Pacific time. It might be 5 p.m. Pacific. Maybe I'll come home and do my show and then eat dinner later. I don't know. I don't know how any of this is going to work out. But what I do know, VR 365 is dead. Not yet. But what I do know is I will be back Thursday night. We will be back. VR 365 is not dead. Not yet. I'm not Olivia Newton-John. I'm not dead yet. Okay, number 2, I will be at GDC. I will be at GDC. I will be there on Tuesday, and I will be there on Wednesday, and I'm going to try as much good stuff as I can. and I'm going to be waiting in those lines and trying out VR stuff. That's what I hope to do Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday, I got to come back and go to work. Not looking forward to that. Oh, other thing too. The last thing, guys. The last thing. I need suggestions. What am I going to listen to when I'm at work? What podcasts am I going to listen to when I go back to Cubicle Land? You know, I need some suggestions for podcasts. I'm going back to Cubicle Land, y'all. The Patreon did not work. I didn't get enough Patreon supporters, bruh. If only Palmer Lucky was a Patreon supporter, I could tell Cubicle Land to kiss my butt. Hussein X says, live streams from GDC? Probably not. But you know what I might do is I might do a little, like I might just hold up a camera like this and just like, yeah, so today I was just at GDC and I tried da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I might do that for like 5 or 10 minutes. And then maybe I'll post that just kind of unedited. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But bottom line, folks, I'll be back next Thursday. I'm also going to have some Let's Plays that will probably hit this channel over the next couple of days. I'm going to do a Let's Play for Attack of the Bugs, VR Spry Guy. I played Attack of the Bugs yesterday. I'm not going to say what happened. I'll just wait for my Let's Play. Yeah, Kevgret says everyone cancel their Patreon. Yeah, you could do that if you wanted to. But anyway, that's going to go ahead and do it, guys. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys in about a week. Have a wonderful week. Lots of GDC rumors and all of that. I don't know who you're going to go to get that information. Maybe somebody will start up again and do a daily show, and then I can listen to them while I'm at work, while I'm in my cubicle. Alrighty, I will see everybody in about a week. See you Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Thursday, March 21st. Take it easy. Later.